This digital short will be delving into the dangers of social media like Instagram and Facebook, specifically in the Los Angeles, California area, which is a known social media hub. The topic at hand consists of many small parts, but the main issue is focused around data and the effects of social media on its users. Mental health, information consumption, and data security will all be topics of focus mentioned within this video. This short will be narrowing more specifically to the Los Angeles, California area, a city considered one of the world's largest social media hubs, where influencers and social media platforms alike seem to control everyone's lives, choices, and ways of thinking. The stakeholders that will be the focal point of this video will be Mark Zuckerberg and subsequently Facebook and Instagram, which are both owned and operated by Zuckerberg. Keeping in mind how these can all be connected, the prevalence and power of social media is growing immensely, encroaching on all areas of daily life. Social media users of all ages, whether it be a preteen or an adult in their mid-30s, seem to be influenced by the content they consume at times in a concerning way. The premise of this video is to both provide information and increase awareness to social media users at large to the dangers of social media and being more aware when using these platforms with the information they've gained. A majority of Americans feel as though they have no control over their data. When Americans who use social media were surveyed, an overwhelming majority of about 70 to 80% felt a lack of control over their data and were concerned about the data collected by both social media platforms and the government. The same percentage of Americans who use social media stated that the potential risks.
Facebook can take all the data that you submit and combine it with data from other users and outside information to construct a profile of you.
However,
Facebook uses nearly 100 different data points to classify your interests and activities. This would include basic stuff like your age and gender, but also more complicated information like whether you own a motorcycle or you recently went on vacation, or whether you're a gadget geek. Researchers have found that by using signals such as your likes and interactions, Facebook could tell if you were in a relationship or
lack of understanding or knowledge of the subject of data when it comes to social media makes way for easy access to said data and information by social media platforms and companies. This can be seen with how 79% of personal data is shared with Instagram and 57% with Facebook, both companies which are seemingly the most popular social media platforms and both owned by Mark Zuckerberg. This seems to be a very common theme that will be explored throughout this video. Whether it be obliviousness or ignorance, studies show just how little American social media users pay attention, with about 56% of US adults always or pretty often agreeing to privacy policies without ever reading them. Adding on to the issue of voluntary ignorance or simply not wanting to put in an extra few minutes to know what will happen with the personal information and data that is put into a social media account, shows that this is particularly prominent in U.S. adults ages 18 to 29 and at a college or higher education level. The amount of news consumption through social media applications has dangerously become one of the most popular ways of getting information due to mass amounts of potential misinformation. According to research studies conducted by Pew Research Center, 2/3 of Americans who use social media get their news applications from Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. However, there is an interesting 42 to 57% split in the amount of people who believe the news and information they get from these platforms is accurate. Adding on to the most used social media platforms being Facebook and TikTok, there's a tremendous amount of potential misinformation that is shown to social media users of all ages, anywhere from children to adults. This is extremely dangerous because the news and information this variety of social media users consumes can be spread by word of mouth and create even more misinformation if this media is not double-checked by more accurate sources.
Findable. So, for example, if we think about Twitter as one of the places that saw a lot of growth, it did, of course, coincide with an election year where there was a lot of activity on Twitter and also a president that is using Twitter quite frequently.
Los Angeles, California is one of the most well-known social media hubs and hub for influencers, teens and young adults being the most prominent users of social media applications such as Instagram and TikTok, shows just how susceptible they are to being influenced to and act a certain way based on what they see on these applications. This is a particularly useful thing to the owners of these companies like Mark Zuckerberg, who take advantage of how susceptible these young social media users are to make their applications more addicting and keep showing them media media, things that they will buy, etc., to make their company more profits. An astounding 86% of people have stated that they have bought things because they were influenced by social media. Influencers in the Los Angeles area who are either YouTubers or TikTokers have been known to post videos trying different products and reviewing them, essentially influencing their viewers to buy what they have tested and loved. These influencers and social media platforms work hand in hand because influencers are, one, paid by these platforms for the videos that they make, and two, are often sponsored by companies to promote their products.
Is TikTok Shop legit? Looks like this works.
Wow.
That's not what we ordered. Sup guys, welcome back to the channel. I am really excited because today I've wanted to film this video for a while and everything finally came in and I'm really excited. We all know I love shopping. We all know it's like my hobby.
Social media is having significantly negative effects on the mental health of their users, especially teenagers and young adults. Teen and young adult social media users have progressively become more and more negatively affected by the media they consume, whether it be comparing themselves to others based on the posts they see on their feeds on Instagram or getting hateful comments on a TikTok they posted. Overall, social media seems to be doing more harm than good when consumed in large quantities. Introducing teens to social media creates a dependence on it where they start to depend on it psychologically. Connecting dopamine, serotonin, and other reward centers of the brain to sync with the media consumed on social media applications is an extremely dangerous side effect that has developed. Interestingly enough, social media CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg, when asked if they think that their platforms have anything to do with the correlation between increased social media usage and declining mental health in teens and young adults, deny having anything to do with this.
Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
I'm sorry for everything that you've all been through. It's terrible. No one should have to go through the things that your families have suffered. And this is why we invested so much and are going to continue doing industry-leading efforts to make sure that no one has to go through the types of things that your families have had to suffer.
Thank you so much for watching this digital short. I hope it was informative and was able to provide awareness to the many possible dangers of social media and how to stay aware when using social media platforms. Providing information as to how social media affects its users is a crucial topic that gains more importance by the day, as social media and its power does too. Knowing how to safely navigate platforms and stay aware when being active on them is the most effective way to use social media to your advantage. Differentiating fake news by fact-checking the information gained from social media platforms and being able to de-influence yourselves from the things advertised to you by influencers and social media will also only be of use in the future. I hope you will be able to utilize these new skills and information learned from this digital short.